Howdy everyone, it's me once again, the one and only Killer Rodan. And today, since I'm technically still continuing my Disney movie marathon, I'm going to be doing a top 10 fun facts about Walt Disney himself. Since I've done that with some of his movies, I figured I would do it to him. I guess that would make sense. So yeah folks, I want to do this for a quick moment, I guess you can say, because he did make a lot of good movies back in the day. And of course, I will have my cup of joe with me. Oh yeah, let's dive right in, shall we? Walt Disney himself had actually wanted to help out with the war in some sort of way. Walt Disney had attempted to sign up for the army during World War I, but he was rejected for the fact that they thought he was too young. So instead, he made little cartoons for his high school newspaper, and later joined the Red Cross. He was sent to France to drive some ambulances for an entire year, though it was later the war had ended. Yes, indeed. Walt Disney himself has a star in the Walk of Fame, and that's pretty cool right there. I mean, sure, it was a difficult ride for him, but he finally done it, and rightfully so. I mean, yeah, sure, he might have been a really tough businessman in a lot of ways, but hey, you gotta make the business happen someday. And that's what he did, folks. He had created his own unique style of films, and he's known for it. And again, rightfully so. Oh yeah. During the construction of Disneyland, one of the parks anyway, in the 1950s, Walt Disney himself had moved into a one-bedroom apartment above the theme park's fire station on Main Street in order to work and watch his dream come to life. The apartment itself still exists up to this very day. It had been left largely untouched, so whatever he had done in there was still there in the way it was preserved. During his stay, Walt himself left a lamp in the window to alert the staff of his presence. That very lamp itself is still now permanently in that very spot for his honor. It took Walt Disney himself almost 30 years to have this film be made, to only have it become a box office disappointment. It was a success when the Blu-ray versions and the DVD versions of the film were released, and it's still a disappointment, especially considering the budget of this film. And yeah, it definitely was one of the most expensive animated features, even at the time, even up for today's standards. He had to publicly announce that he was apologizing for the failure of this film, which in a lot of cases it was rather sad, because it's definitely a great film on its own. This film was one of the reasons that got me into Disney in the first place. Well, on the bright side, they made that one comic book graphic novel series that was pretty much a sequel to the Disney's version of Alice in Wonderland. So that's not all bad, I guess you can say. It still left an impact to some degree. And it did get a high rating on that movie database website, so there's that, I guess. Once again, bring up Alice in Wonderland. So a lot of parents had complained that the film was having hidden messages within the animated feature, stating that it was supporting drug use, when in reality it never did. But that's how they misinterpret the film, by stating that it's somehow telling children to go ahead and take drugs and be addicted to it. And boy, talk about reading too much into it. During his career, folks, when he was alive, Walt Disney himself had won a total of 22 awards for his animated features, and for among other things. So yeah, his dream had really became true. So of course he wanted to really spread that kind of thing to other people. And if you ask me, folks, that's really well deserved for him. Yeah, he really worked hard to earn those Oscars right there. Oh yeah, that's definitely true right there. Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs was his first animated feature. first ever I should say, Disney artists worked for more than 3 years in order to create the very first animated feature for the studio, Snow White and Seven Dwarfs. But Walt Disney himself was determined to finish his project, even though he could have just failed at the end. But thankfully, the film did become a box office hit at the time. Mickey Mouse and his friends pretty much became the trademark characters of Disneyland and such. Ironically enough, that Walt Disney himself, when he was alive, was deadly afraid of mice. Yeah, he didn't like that at all. He did have the phobia of mice. So yeah, he was definitely scared of them. So he wanted them to be as far away from them as humanly possible. Yeah. While some believe that this is highly debatable, but one of the most myths is that Walt Disney was frozen, but that was not the case actually. So no one is really sure where these rumors had started really, but in truth, Walt Disney himself was actually buried. Well, his ashes were anyway after he was cremated. At the very least, his ashes were actually buried in a forest cemetery in California. But it would make an interesting what-if scenario in which that he was actually frozen to only be brought back to life years later through advanced medications, and see how he would have continued living. Would he continue to make animated movies? What would he think of his new studios now? And how would he react to the new age technology and such? Well, it's just a thought anyway, so yeah. The very animated film that helped the studio to begin its business was what almost ruined it in the very beginning. So, not a whole lot of people had faith in the project really, and so yeah, a lot of people had thought this animated feature was going to be a colossal failure, and he had a huge budget at the time. Not even his own wife believed in the project at all. Practically no one really took this project seriously, but thankfully this film was actually a box office hit, and now we have Disney World to this very day. So yeah folks, there you have it, my top 10 fun facts about Walt Disney. I figured I would do this since I'm continuing my Disney movie marathon anyway, so this was a good excuse to talk about Disney himself. I did fun facts for a lot of the other stuff, so I guess it would make sense to actually do this, folks. So, as always, thank you very much for watching, of course, and take care. Oh yeah. See ya. Don't forget about your cup of joe, folks. Oh yeah. I need a cup right now.